I was recruited to the CIA for a very specific purpose. The unit that I worked for specialized in full-spectrum intelligence operations. You needed to have a sub-2-second draw, run 7-minute miles, go from a machine gun to a grenade launcher to a pistol. That was our whole job, was to come face-to-face with terrorists and figure out what they're up to and to either stop it or lead to the next piece so that we can stop something bigger. I felt like my life was on the line at least weekly. When you look at the Jack Ryan character, I would say that parts of my life very much resembled that. If you look at the spectrum of intelligence officers at the CIA, you have analysts, and then you had an operative who was in the field in a really, really dangerous place. Really, Jack Ryan is an amalgamation of two different people into one. But I'm as close as you're gonna get to the real Jack Ryan. Even from a young age, you know, I was always looking for some type of service. How can I not only leverage academic capability, but also physical capability to get good people out of bad places? So when I was 18, I decided to go be an Air Force pararescueman. If you're going to work as a pararescueman, it's because something went wrong. Everything from rappelling or hoisting to go rescue people, getting off a helicopter in the middle of a firefight to get somebody. I wanted to then transition over to the other side, which was, how do we prevent something from going wrong in the first place? And that is the mission of the CIA, to prevent a war from breaking out. My unit specialized in high threat or high risk areas. The more hostile, the better. So I'm in North Africa, leaving an area of operations, and some foreign fighters were coming through this country, and they'd set up a checkpoint with pickup trucks with anti-aircraft cannons mounted on the back of them, surrounding us, anywhere between 30 to 40 fighters, all of them armed. So I opened the door. These fighters grab my arm and start trying to pull me out of the car. I put my seatbelt on real quick. Now they're not going to get me out, and started de-escalating the situation. The problem was I didn't speak their language and they didn't speak mine. Untrained fighters will start fingering their weapons. They start kind of feeling, is it there? Can I get to it? And that lets me know that they're getting ready to go to guns. Out of nowhere, this short, fat little Egyptian guy comes out of the crowd with all these papers in his hands. I mean, the guy looks like a professor, and he says, "Excuse me, sir, I speak English. Would you like me to translate for you?" It's like, yes, absolutely. I would love you to do that. One of the fighters in the gun truck stands up, mans the gun, and points it towards us. And that Egyptian guy turns around and he says, "They say that you have to go meet with their commander, and he's in that building right over there." And it just came to me. I said, my boss says that if I leave this car, he'll beat me. So he translates that, and then all of a sudden the fighters were like, "Oh yeah, we get your brother. We totally understand." That's the world that they live in. That gave me something in common with them, and what would have been a firefight that would have made the news turned into absolutely nothing, and we were able to just drive home. I was deployed 8 to 10 months a year when I was at the CIA. The greatest casualty of this war on terror has not been individual lives, it has been families. Families that have been ripped apart and destroyed. I came home from a combat theater once to find divorce papers in my inbox. I don't know a guy that I worked with who wasn't divorced. Dating when you work at the CIA is a complete circus. You have to deal with problems that most people don't have to deal with. So I met my girlfriend, my now wife. We'd been dating for a few months, but she didn't know where I worked yet. if I took her to a shooting range, and I had a boring cover story, so she knew that I would probably be able to shoot because of my time in the military, but I tried not to shoot too good. I started shooting off of the bullseye in the white space, and she started thinking that I was doing really poorly and started to feel kind of bad for me until she looked up and saw that I had shot a perfect heart, and then she realized that maybe I was a little better at this gun stuff than I'd let on.
On one hand, I was super smitten, and on the other hand, I was super skeptical. Either this guy is like in the cartel or something. And I didn't think CIA until my girlfriend was like, you know, my sister works there. I bet you he's a spy. I was like, you are so full. Like, but then after I thought about it for a little while, I was like, maybe that's real. Lo and behold.
It came time to make a choice between being an operative and being a father. What does this matter if I fail at this one?
What is Dada doing?
Oh, did you take my nose?
It's absolutely worth the trade-off, but I still miss my old profession every single day. So on top of being a father, the other reason that I left the CIA was to fight human trafficking. In my time at the CIA and even the military before that, I realized that when it comes to fighting human trafficking, there's no national strategy. I had the network, I had the capability, so I put all that together to essentially create Deliver Fund, the world's only private intelligence organization that focuses on combating human trafficking. We're headed to our cyber training facility, which we also use for cyber operations for going after human traffickers. You guys have been at it for a couple hours now. Can you kind of let us know where you're at?
Yeah, I have a 21-year-old female that looks as if she may be trafficked.
What we're doing is we're taking the advertisements that human traffickers are using to advertise what is their product to the customer, and we're tracing those advertisements backwards to the identity of the actual human trafficker. How responsive was the target?
Very responsive. I came at her from 2 different angles.
Let's graph it out.
We found this in just a couple of hours. For law enforcement not having these tools, it will take them over a month to develop what we just had.
Geo, Nick, say again last. We're trying to arrange a meeting between law enforcement officers with handcuffs and a bad guy. George found a car associated with the target that he got a license plate number on and sent it off to law enforcement. So head snap, every human being in the world has one of these. Law enforcement officers, they don't have the budget to get even 10% of the training that I've had over my 17.5 years of government service. So we give them the equipment, teach them how to use it, and then we teach them how to safely go arrest a human trafficker.
Yep, good.
My unit at the agency specialized in conducting these operations in very, very small teams. So we teach these law enforcement officers the same thing. A trafficking victim is in this building. You've got to go in, find her, and get her out.
Kira, listen to the sound of my voice.
Nicely done. You did great because you got here and you were like, I've got to hold this hallway. Way higher probability that there's going to be threat coming out of one of those rooms down there. I knew this was something that I could do something about here, and I knew in my bones that this would work because it's the same thing we were doing against terrorists overseas. We're just changing hats, going from counter-terrorism to counter-human trafficking. At the CIA, you really had to be able to adapt whatever tools you were handed to whatever mission set you were assigned. I am fighting a war on human trafficking, and because of my time at the CIA, I can articulate exactly what that means and how we're going to get there.